All right, and we are live. I
You're
want to say
live.
welcome to everyone. Today there's the fifth episode of Let's Hash It Out. We've got a few people you might know in here, and someone I would also like to introduce to y'all is a Digibyte developer. I'd like to welcome a special guest, Renzo. Um, And
Well,
also, we have Javier, Clint Westwood, and Stake. And I'm Blind Dave Crypto. And all of our links are down below on the ticker. So, welcome, guys. Today, Johnny Law may stop by. He's got some things going on he's working on. So, in the interim, I thought this would be advantageous to bring Renzo in to discuss different things that he's a part of that he does. He's a developer for Digibyte, the hardest working one that I've known. So with the um, what is that? The Digibyte domains. Also, now he's doing a new wallet for Digibyte. So um, any questions, post them in the comments. This is an open forum, so let's hash it out. Welcome, guys.
Welcome.
thank
Hey,
you
Dave.
for the
Hey,
invitation.
Renzo.
Hey, everyone. Thanks, Dave, for the introduction. It's always a pleasure to be here to talk with you guys. It's always fun to share what's in my mind and to expose or to show to everyone what I've been working on. Just annotation or clarification. I'm technically not a Digibyte developer because I do not work with the Digibyte core. I will love to in the future. I still need to dig into some stuff. I'm just a developer that works for or with Digibyte. That's the finest definition that I can have right now. Maybe in the future, who knows? I could dig into that a little bit more. But yeah, that's thanks still
Yes,
for
but you are
the
developing
comments.
working projects, and that is to be commended. So, what would y'all like to go over first with Renzo? Um, I think I would like to touch on the wallets. Last week, I had a subscriber ask me about the wallets on iOS, specifically iOS, but also on Android, um, in that it would not sync. And my response was to use DigiSweep and to use Coinami in order to sweep that address and regain control of those assets. Um, how is this looking moving forward on the mobile as well as the desktop wallet that you're doing?
Well, the wallets, iOS and Android mobile wallets, came from an old repository. Well, nowadays sold. I think it's from 2019. So it has already 4 years. I think 2 years or 1 year since its last update. And it came from a time where it was a necessity to have a mobile wallet or enough with the next bull market approaching and with the different or to have the convenience to have or to store Digibyte in a mobile phone. In my opinion, those wallets completed purpose. It succeeds in the way that they were useful in their time. But right now we have some problems. You mentioned this before, the syncing one, that came from some nodes that were established as default nodes in the wallet that are required to connect those to sync the transactions. Those nodes right now, I think they're down, so the wallet can connect. There are a few steps that someone must follow to connect to a different node and to be able to sync the wallet. Um, but given us the wallet has some coding errors that generate weird addresses and not necessarily the same addresses that in other service, it's recommended also to migrate to a new and more modern service using an application or a web service run by mathematical analysts called DigiSweep. That way, you can move your coins from this old wallet to a new one, for example, Koinomi, or well, whatever standard component wallet it's out there, and that way you can regain the access to your coins, and not necessarily the power to control them, because you still those coins are technically secure in the old wallet, but you cannot access them. And or well, you can follow some processes to change the node the wallet is pointing at and being able to regain access in the same wallet. I think the problem these wallets are near its end of its market life, or its lifespan, due to some errors in the code and due to some new technologies coming up. So it's a good idea just right now to have your mnemonic phrase secure, the one that you sync your wallet up to, or the one that you put in your phone when you create or connect or install the mobile wallet. And if you're not interested yet in move your coins, just keep it down, save your mnemonic phrase in a good place, and wait till an update is published or some projects came along that help you recover your coins. Or you can use, well, as you said right now, before, right?
Right. Right. I
These ways
remember
to recover them.
I remember Noah years ago, and he used to be over the Digibyte mobile wallet, and that will soon be a thing that will be worked on and worked out. Um, and for that reason, and also with the V3, the third version of assets, of Digi assets, to be able to own and control and burn or whatever you wish to do with those, that is another issue with other wallets that are not V3 compliant, is that through Digi Asset X, your digital asset or NFT, whatever, will not be able to be sent to those other wallets. So it is important to use Digi Asset X wallet for that, and also you can link that with Koinami for the time being.
Well, let me ask a real simple question, and because I don't understand the technical, is this specific to Digibyte, or in the future, will it be linking up to other proof of work, or even other proof of stake coins? And I'm still
No,
trying to understand that. Or
yeah,
is it
no,
just
it's
Digibyte?
local for well, not Digibet. This is local for the mobile Digibet wallet. With other Digibet wallet, this error does not occur. This came along from a coding error that happens in the original wallet repository that rolled out as Snowball up to these days. Yeah, the Digibet wallet is not DigiAsset version 3 compatible. It's DigiAsset compatible, which means that if you accidentally bought or sent a new DigiAsset to your wallet, that DigiAsset is technically secure. You can't manage it, you cannot see it, you cannot send it, you cannot burn it, but the asset is protected by the mobile wallet. So seeing that problem from a safeguard point of view, your wallet, your asset, sorry, it's safe. It does not happen the same if you send a DG asset to Koinomi, for example, or to Ledger. Those wallets are dangerous for your DG asset. They can accidentally burn them. They can use the asset as a normal digibyte and burn it to the protocol. Of course, DigiSweep offers a migration process for the DG assets. When you put your mnemonic phrase or your private key, it asks you for two inputs. One, an address where it can send your digibyte. This can be a Koinomi address, a Ledger address, a Trezor address, whatever you like. And another address that is for your DG assets. In this part, it's recommended to use the DGAssetX service run by Metacanalys because it's DGAsset compatible, and it will allows you to manage your digital assets right away. Digibyte, or sorry, DGSX, it's a good service. It's it completed purpose. I think it was announced that it was going to be migrated to a new service or shut down, but it's still some time till that happens, and we are definitely going to have new service that supports DGS. One of it's one that I'm working on right now, which is the DigiByte desktop wallet. So right now, as on today, is the best option to safely store your assets. In the future, you are still going to be hold or have the access to that private keys to that data, sure, but probably you're going to need another migration. But as long as you hold the private keys to access every service, everyone's going to be secure.
So I get my my Digi, and I don't open it for 5 years because I'm still not comfortable with computers. The upgrades come in, it's still safe.
Yes, as long as you don't move those digibyte or those digi assets, when time goes by in 10 years, if there is a protocol or a service to restore that data, it's going to work because the information in a blockchain doesn't change, and the digibyte coins and the digi assets are protected by a blockchain. So as long as you keep the private key secure, everything should be there in an arbitrary amount of time.
Okay, so I've got a
Thank
question
you.
on that. Renzo, good to meet you, man. I've never met you face to face, so it's good to see you. So I know somebody who actually opened up the old Digibyte wallet on iOS, put some coins in there, wrote down their seed phrase. They have that. Now it can't sync, so they're like, okay, how do I get to my coins? They don't have any digi assets, just coins in there. Mm-hmm. And they want to pull that off and put that on another wallet. Is Digi Sweep is that where that comes in, that application to do that and put that in, say, Coinomi?
Right now, yes. It's the easiest service out there. Soon, the DBake Desktop Wallet is going to have recovery or a compatibility option with the DigiByte mobile app that is going to allow you to have like a view or read-only account for you to retrieve the assets. Gotcha. But right now, to sweep, that's the correct word in this case. DigiSweep is the best option.
And where is that service? Where is that application? How does one go about getting that to try to take those coins and move those
over? I think the URL is digisweep.digasx.com. Let me check. Yes, digisweep.digasx.com. That's the URL.
digasx.com. Okay, mm-hmm. Yep, got it. Thank you. No, that's good because I know somebody that's got that problem and they don't have any assets. They just have the coins and they want to, just want to be able to see them and do something with them, because it scares people when they can't sync up and they worry and.
Yes, for the more curious out there, the problem with the DigiByte mobile wallets is problem at BIP 39 hierarchically derivation of addresses from the master key. That's the official mistake. If you're looking to dig into that a little bit more, it's exactly on the phrase or the seed that uses to iterate of using a SHA-256 algorithm using an HMAC hash, and instead of saying Bitcoin seed, it says DigiByte seed. The correct one is Bitcoin seed. But I think that's far too technical, so if anyone has another question, we can dig into that.
Now tell us what this is that I'm seeing on the screen. This is we're raising funds to complete the project. How is this going to be rolled out?
Okay, that's my latest project and probably my current project from a long time on. Someone had a question. Well, okay.
I'm sorry, I was telling the dog. I'm sorry.
Oh, don't worry. Yeah, and that's a new project that I've been working on. It's a DigiByte desktop wallet. It's, well, I think the title resembles of what it is. It's a desktop application to manage the DigiByte environment or the DigiByte system. It's going to be able to handle your DigiByte coins, your Digi assets, your DigiID, And right now, well, the project started around a month ago by liquidating of some of the funds that were recovered, that were donated by people in the community. And right now, it's being developed. Well, the first phase, the project is divided into four phases. Each one will it will develop or will work or implement some of the features that are listed on the website. Right now, the front end is being developed. So the first item, the basic interface for the desktop wallet. Yesterday, I was delivered some of the front ends of the wallet. It's looking good. I'm not yet going to reveal anything because I still need to iterate over that process with the developers, with the front end developers. But yeah, once that's out, or once that part is finished, the code or the work that's going to be done is going to be published on a GitHub repository that you have there in the part that says open source work. And all those changes are going to be on real time. So if anyone goes to the repository, they are going to be able to look at the wallet's code as is being developed. So it's an open source work. Anyone can look into that. Everyone can watch how or audit how everything is being done. And it's going to use basic web development technologies, which is going to be so hard to develop, but that will allow everyone with some little knowledge to know what is happening in there. So basically, that's it. That's that project. It's a new Digibit wallet, another one, yes, but Digibit branded, which means that it's going to be only for Digibit and will support most of the Digibit ecosystem features. I don't want to say every feature because it's a lot, and I don't have a compendium or list of all them because that also includes some features that are really deep into the Digibit layer 2, such as code your own addresses, but it's going to have most of them that are necessary or available, that are right now are not available to the general public. And I think that's that.
Well, Renzo, you know what? Like I said, I'm not a technical person, but I do understand you. I see the knowledge that you have, and I've seen it before in the spaces way back when you were, I'm not saying starting, but you were, it was a year and a half ago. And my applause to you for being a young man going through school and for the commitment that you've done to Digibyte. We're all big supporters of Digibyte, and just to see that, I'll tell you what, a big reason I'm more into Digibyte. Not that I understand everything because I don't understand the tech, but I do understand the commitment to your art and it being Digibyte. So I applaud you for that.
Well,
And
thanks. That's
also
very nice.
for the previous subscriber of the last video who was asking about the iOS not syncing and whatnot and the Digi Sweep, this this desktop wallet will also offer the Digi Sweep, correct?
Yes, not exactly DigiSweep, because I still think on backwards compatibility, a lot of people have DGID identities linked to their mobile wallet, and that can't not be migrated to a new service. So the wallet, it's going to have an account-based system, which means that with a single private key, you can have multiple accounts. And one of those accounts is going to be or will be a mobile wallet type, which will implement the same functionalities as your mobile wallet. So you are going to be still able to use DigiID, you're going to still be able to see your assets and Digibit coins, and if you decide, you can move it as a regular transaction to a new address or to a new account. So it's not going to be a sweep model when you put just the private key, the address, and goes. it's going to be more like a read-only or view-only account where you still can send the assets. It's not going to allow you to generate more addresses just to keep you away from those not standard compliant things. But it's going to allow you to see your balance and to manage or send it to another one, and to use your digital identity, DGID calls or sweeps or identity.
And another off the wall question.
Mhm.
I don't know. Can you speak of Ledger or no?
That's that's a spicy thing. Ledger was my favorite hardware wallet back up to 2 months ago when they decided to trash all their public trust. But still is, I still have here a Ledger. Well, I got like all their models because I had planned to include a Ledger compatibility with the Digibyte desktop wallet. It's still on plan because, as we see right now, the Ledger app is not as reliable. So a different source to handle your Digibyte stored in these little devices is still on the board, and I think it's more important right now. So yeah, the wallet is going to have compatibility with Ledger. I don't know if right away at the first commits on the GitHub, but it's definitely going to have. I've been able to use this device with code. So yeah, so people can have another option outside Ledger power or Ledger jurisdiction or something like that. That's the plan at least. So
Cool.
if you want to ask anything about Ledger, sure, I'm here to answer that.
Yeah, so to support your project, you've got, I see you got the QR code there. I brought it up. I'm looking at it, and you're kind of halfway to the goal. That may be halfway in Digibyte. I don't know about the dollar amount, but go check that out. And the website, it looks like it's digibytedesktop.org.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's the website. We're right now at, I think, a little bit over the 50% mark. It's been, I think, a success since the level or engagement that the project has with the people. Most of all because, well, I think the general public is aware that it's a problem that needs to be addressed. Right now, I know that we've seen some drops on the price a few months ago. And being in the middle of the bear market, I think it's time for projects like this to be done. Because when the next cycle arrives, the next bull market arrives, which is not if it's going to happen, but when it's going to happen, projects like these or application like this that needs to already be done. Right? So that's why this year I decided that, hey, this needs to be addressed now. I'm finishing college in July, so why not take the next months that I'm going to be out, well, without doing anything right here, right now, and to put this together, or call some friends, developers that I have here, make this impossible, make this happen.
Well, thank you very much for your work, Renzo. It's
Thank you.
it's just very great and inspirational to see, and yeah, there's not much to add. Dave already said it as well. You're really, really hardworking, and it's just I really like your sincere, open, and honest attitude towards it, and it's it's something to look forward to. So yeah, I'm really excited. I don't want to jump on the hype train, but I do believe in what you're doing, and yeah, keep at it. You know, I'm pleasantly surprised that you. I joined the stream and I was like, oh wow, Renzo's here. So you know that's pretty cool. So yeah, thanks, man. Just wanted to share that. Much appreciated.
Thanks.
Yes.
Well, not just in the streams. I always connect the UX spaces that are out there. Well, these last few weeks I've been busy with some stuff, so I could be able to connect as much as I would like. But sure, I'm occasionally I jump in and give an update of how my projects are been going or are being well, what's going on? That's the first thing people ask when I join in. Having, I think, DigiFaucet, the DigiAsset Explorer, DigiByte domains, and now the DigiByte X2 wallet running for almost 2 years now, since I started DigiFaucet in 2021. It's been a constant of me to try to just keep in touch with everyone, because also remember that the funds that the Discord wallet has been developed with, they're not mine. They're money that people put in to try to support and to fund their development, because at the end, development, it's a job that needs to be paid to make things going, right? Also, the DigiByte domains, I think they've just put it up into the screen.
Yeah, I
It's
wanted to
another
get
thing that
into
it's up
yeah,
to.
because I wanted to share with other people that it's not just the desktop wallet that you're working on, but you have several different projects, and I wanted to further illustrate some of that here to show other people that other things are being worked on, are being done, just to further illustrate some of your projects that you are building and doing for the community and for DigiByte. And sincerely, we do thank you.
Well, thanks. DigiByte domain, sorry, it's DigiByte name system, which are basically nicknames in the DigiByte blockchain that are running on top of DigiAssets. That's like the technology that's been supported on, and it's basically a way to tag or to put a name on a DigiByte address using a DigiAsset. That if a wallet is compatible with, people can send you DigiByte. For example, if you right now go to DigiAssetX and on the place or on the site that you write an address, you type renzo.digibit, the DigiByte that you send to that domain is going to arrive to an address that I possess, the private key that I have. You can look in the DigiAsset Explorer, DigiAsset Store Info, all the domains that are out there that people have claimed. And such or as a crypto domain, it's only one payment, and that domain is yours for forever. Basically, it's not required to renew or anything like that. You just need to pay a royalty when you move the domain, but that's I think $2.50. So, but you still hold the property of that domain. That's a good thing about that service. It looks like an Ethereum-based system. I can say that it's based on that because honestly, I haven't dig into how Ethereum system works in the inside, but it has similar on the outside, on the part of the features. It has similar features. So everything that you can do with a DigiByte address, you can do it with a DigiByte domain. And if you type your domain, or if you type in that search bar renzo.db, it's going to tell you which address that DigiByte are going to be sent. For example, in that case, that's my address. Mm-hmm.
Yep. No, to break that down a little bit, just to kind of hash that out a little bit for everybody out there, think of it this way. The internet, it's based on IP addresses, like phone numbers. You know, you call a phone number and you pick Dave, blind Dave picks up. And it's like, okay, we have our phones now, though. And what happens is,
Oh, we lost it, Dave.
I lost you, Clint. Where are you at?
Okay, I thought maybe me.
Must have dialed the wrong number.
when you want to go to Google and search something, no, you just type in google.com. So this is the same kind of concept to where you can have your name. And if you would you search, I'm pretty sure I've got one, Renzo, search on Clint Westwood and see what comes up. Because if someone wants to send DigiByte, part of the problem is it's very difficult with these long addresses and you can't memorize these things. And so, okay, send me your address. Well, in this case, think of it like Cash App or Venmo. Hey, what's your handle? So if you've got a handle on the DigiByte, did it come up? Yeah, there we go, clintwestwood.dgb. So I did this a long time ago. I've never used it, but when I saw it coming and I'm like, okay, I got to get involved in this. And so what you can do is if you want to send something to somebody, you can say, hey, Renzo.dgb, I want to send you something. So you just put it in there, boom, send it. You don't have to know the address or anything because it's already stored out there and it resolves, shows up to his address, he gets the coins. Makes it a lot easier. And these are the kind of things going forward. The usability features, like you're talking about, Javier. It's like, man, I just all this stuff, I can't, get my head around it. It needs to be simple. Well, these are the kind of tools that do that. And realize that what we're dealing with here, it's not some venture capitalist coin where they throw millions of dollars and hire a bunch of programmers and, hopefully it does something. And if not, they'll just restart the blockchain if something crashes. That's what they do. No, this is a decentralized project to where, Renzo, you're in what, Peru?
Yes.
Okay, so here's Renzo in Peru dealing with this completely decentralized ecosystem, this crypto, called Digibyte, and all kinds of people around the world are developing on it and building these tools, completely open source. So we're able to do that. And as a community, we want to support those kind of things. So, if you want to see these things built out, there's no, Wall Street money coming in to do this, and thank God there isn't, because I don't want to be involved in that stuff. I want stuff to be decentralized, and I want to be able to be part of a community that builds something that's different outside of a vampire casino that's currently running. No, we're going to do it on our own. And so support guys like Renzo so that he can continue to build these tools because he's got the passion to do it. And that's everything, the passion, the knowledge, and putting it all together and creting. Support him. Send him a little bit of Digibyte there and just support what he's doing.
I was actually thinking something like that. Digibyte just had a little meetup in Nashville, but get something to where it is a separate donation QR code. Hopefully I'm saying that right, to where I don't know how much ability you have to travel, but almost to traveling. Renzo, you're a very important part of the team, and there's a lot of people. Put it this way, I would love to shake your hand and just meet you and pick your brain as much as I can, but I'm sure there's other people that would like to dig a little deeper. For you to show up at a meeting that's like-minded people, we never know what could grow out of that community because of an idea that may spark the attention. And if you had a QR code, Renzo's Travels, and how many people wouldn't go, you know what, I would love to have Nashville, Tennessee, how many people would have loved to have you there? And I could already answer everybody that was there, and most of the people that are here, even if we couldn't go, we would have loved to have you there. Not only do you deserve it, but I think it's a big advantage to the community to when we start meeting up. We have some different kinds of meetups at Clint Westwood's, and the sparks, the ideas, and the camaraderie and the friendships that are built there, and the eye-to-eye contacts and handshakes are absolutely incredible. And so, as an older guy, I'm just telling you, we should look into that. And I'll talk to Dave about it and some of these guys, to where there's something separate for you to be able to not only work as hard as you do, but if you enjoy it as much as you do, be with like-minded people to spread the knowledge.
Thanks. Unfortunately, I heard about Nashville too late. Early this year, I planned a trip to the United States on September. I'm going to be in your city. It's the last time I was. I got there in 2017, so I'm going to be there later this year in a few days, I think.
Well, like I said, you could come more than one time, and I know Westwood would love to have you there. And when Dave has his place open, it's the value and the energy that you give off of the committed. We don't see this. I don't know, and I won't ask you your age, but the commitment. My God, you're not only going through school, but you're working on what I think is one of the biggest projects out in the crypto space. And so kudos to you, my respects to you. And anytime I see you, I feel like I'm around crypto royalty because of what you represent to crypto and to Digibyte.
Well, thanks. That just gets me more nervous and to have this project succeed. uh,
Well, I'm
I,
sure it will.
when I start see the money coming for the DB desktop wallet, I was getting even more nervous because I never had the opportunity to handle as much as a budget as with this project. So it got me to think, hey, a lot of people is putting money into this. This is getting way more real. But I think I'm just trying to do well my best at this. And when I'm looking at the work that's been done, I think I'm very comfortable saying that things are evolving in a good manner in the project, in the not just with the debate desktop wallet, which things are going great, but with the other side projects. As long I know that people that have been introduced with to Digibet with the DigiFaucet, which is one of the greatest accomplishments, feelings that I have these days, and that
And
people daily
tell us a
use
little
the
more
Digi
about
Asset
that.
Explorer, and that's been reflected on the billing that Amazon gave me each time someone someone uses it. But it's not a lot. It's just less than a dime. It's not than a dime,
Well,
than a
and for
quarter each
those
month, so it's payable. So why not to have those servers up and running for the community?
people listening in, what is the DigiFaucet? Can you explain that to them?
The faucet, it's my first project. It's my the way that I get into the debate community. It's a way to easy get some digibytes, some real digibytes, without ads, without tests, without proving you're him. Well, yeah, it does ask you to prove that you're him, but not in a in a way that it's invasive. You just need to put your address. The page had information to how to get the Bedrock wallet, or I think it had. I don't know if it had it right now. And it asks you for an address, and it sends you a little bit of Digibyte. It also gives out testnet Digibyte, which are coins for developers to test and to make advancements on the protocol. And it has some DigiAssets faucet where you can claim some Digibytes. One is a DigiAsset about awareness of holding your own private keys, and another one is the official DigiFaucet asset. I think that's all the service that DigiFaucet runs. It's as I said before, it's my first project that has been recoded a few times to keep it updated with the new technologies that I've been developing. Um, and I think at least right now it's the best way to have some free gigabytes. I know it's a small quantity, but it's I think enough for you to test the speed, the security, and the user friendliness of Gigabyte.
No, I
Very
agree.
cool.
That's good. Get it in people's hands. That's the main thing because once they start using something like Digibyte, you understand, and there's that awakening moment to where, oh my gosh, I can send this for hardly anything. It doesn't cost anything. You can have one Digibyte and send it around multiple times, and the transaction fees are so low, and the speed of it, you really get a feel for how to use crypto, and that's what we need to do is get it in people's hands so they learn how to use it. I did see on your page, does this offer still stand? If somebody gives 1,000 Digibyte and donates, they get a Digi asset?
Oh, sorry, I couldn't hear you in the last part.
Okay, sorry. I apologize if it's breaking up a little bit, but I noticed on your donation page on the QR code, if you give 1,000 Digibyte, that you get a Digi asset. Is that right?
Yes, that's mechanisms that the Digibyte desktop wallet uses to keep track of every people that donate to the project. If you don't want to keep that of the system to keep track of you, you just burn the asset that is sent you. It's a way to know, not just know, but to have people like a ticket or like not it's not like an invoice, it's more like a governance token of the project. each people that has one of those digi assets can, in the future, if this important decision needs to be done about the project, can both on how to guide the project. For example, if I want to in the future include I don't know, or change, for example, or include a feature such as I don't know, let me think, a DeFi model on the wallet. Maybe some people are not on board with that idea. So if I see some controversy on Twitter, I can just make a poll, make a vote in the assets that are available on the B3 protocol, distributed among all the people that has donated. As more assets, as more money or Digibyte you put in the project, you receive more votes. And people can answer back with those assets and give me know what the people that donated to the project think about changes or whatever. And if in the future this project, for example, let's say we are starting collecting money for phase 2, with the phase 1 being completed, and for example, well, I'm touching wood, I died. People can get its money back. It's a way to safeguard people's interest, because I'm still, well, a public figure on the DeFi environment. I'm technically a stranger. You people don't personally know me, so that's a way to give people the security that I'm not just going to shut everything down and run away, which, well, it's not going to happen. But yeah, that's basically this governance token for the project.
So I'm curious, Renzo, you've got such passion for Digibyte. What was it that, what is it about Digibyte that you love? What got you into it? What's kind of your background on that?
Well, I said it before in another interview that I had in another podcast, but the way that I come to Digibyte was purely random, purely luck. I had some Dogecoin in an exchange, and I want to get it out that money, not exactly Dogecoin, but I wanted to get out that money. And I saw a funny cryptocurrency with a low price called Digibyte, which reassembles a name of one of the series that I watched while I was an infant. And I decided to trade the Dogecoin for those Digibyte and then move it to Binance and then try to get that money out, which I couldn't. And that ended up into me moving those Digibytes to a personal address. And then I started researching what did I just bought. And after I made my own research, I decided that it was one of the best accidents that I ever had. After that, I moved my passion for development into cryptocurrency. I remember I started with Dogecoin, and the transactions take a lot of time to confirm. I know that it's just a few minutes, but it's still, for development in real time, is hard. And then I found out that the Digibyte is 99% like the Dogecoin and have only 15-second block time. And I can move all the things that I knew or that I learned that time about Bitcoin and Dogecoin and move it to Digibyte. And after that, I think I haven't coded a single Bitcoin or Dogecoin transaction in my life. The rest things that I learned about UTXO currencies was Digibyte. And all the things that I've built have been on Digibyte. I remember I one time had to code or program a Litecoin transaction, and I noticed that every single thing that I was doing with Digibyte, I could apply it to other currencies. So this knowledge can be transmitted or can be transferred to a lot of areas, because Digibyte is a UTXO coin that it uses global protocols, it uses global architectures to work with. So now learning with Digibyte is not just learning Digibyte, it's learning about cryptocurrencies in general.
That was the next question I was going to ask. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's the most important.
That was the next question I was going to ask you, Renzo. What other coins are you? I know that you work very, very hard on Digibyte. Is there any other coins that you are familiar with? Any proof of work or even proof of stake coins that you have looked into, or is it that you're more of a one-track mind person and just strictly in that. And do you see the importance of proof of work coins working together now or in the
Yeah.
future?
Yeah, I do have experience with some proof of work, actual experience by making transactions and signing stuff and actually do something with those coins. But technically, Debate uses standard protocols such as BIP34, BIP32, 39, and 84, which means that they're standard. That means that I can move that knowledge for basically any other proof of work coin UTXO that I want. You just need to look for the correct documentation, and that's it. I do not hold a lot of cryptocurrency. I have a little bag of Digibet here and a little bag of Monero also here. Not much. I'm mostly here for the technology. But well, my little pass on finance, I know that it's important to have a diversification in your portfolio, something that I must admit I do not follow at the moment. I only hold, as I said, the Digibyte and a little bit of Monero. Those are my my two
Well, no, it's
chickens.
understand. Everybody's got their own journey, and so that's important. I was just curious if you had played or experimented with other coins, tokens. I always see it as important, and just because I see it doesn't mean it's true. It's just playing with some of the other or understanding some of the other tokens, coins, could possibly open up your mind. I mean, not that I've gotten any smarter at this, but by going to different tokens and coins, I've gotten deeper into crypto or understanding crypto than just going to one. But like I said, for you, as busy as you are, kudos to you.
It's on my to-do list to dig into the Mimblewimble protocol of Litecoin, but right now I'm happy of the kind of knowledge I have on UTXO. It's also on my to-do list to move to account-like coins such as Ethereum, but it's a different scheme. It's a different environment. So if that happens in the near future, it's definitely going to be in a situation that I'm not longer actively working on the desktop wallet. So that's right now my main priority. So right now we'll stay in on proof of work. And UTXO proof of work.
And anything that you can speak of that is soon to come in the future, possibly a mobile wallet or anything else of that matter, or the next things that you would like to see utilized within, or any other improvements that you're or ideas that you're working on that you can speak of.
Yeah, sure. Well, mobile wallets, as developed by me, it's right now discarded. Mobile is not my field. It's not my. It's not something that I right now know how to work with. I definitely know that mobile wallets are important because those are like our daily wallets that we keep our bags inside, but we definitely do not keep our life savings on those leather things. We have those stuff safely secure, probably in a bank or in our safe or whatever, or in one of these things. So that's why I'm developing right now a desktop wallet, which are secure than a mobile wallet as a hot wallet can be, but if you combine it with a hardware wallet, it's definitely more secure.
Or is maybe like Change Angel, are they working on the mobile issue?
Yes, they are working on Securious Wallet. The Securious team, well, I'm always in contact with them. They ask me about the DES protocol now and then. I try to give my best of advice. Their developer are real talented, are great. Arun and Sparsh, I had some meetings with them this, well, summer for me, winter for you, on the protocol. They're great guys, and I fully trust that they're going to have good product in their hands soon enough. Right now, of course, it's in testing, in beta testing, so it has some mistakes. I'm sure that the wallet will have, or will, yeah, will have the same challenges when the time arrives to test the wallet. So yeah, that's, I think, right now the situation. I'm also being digging up or trying to scratch in a, in an notepad an update for the GBY domain protocol, but that's very that's very far from being developed right now. It's just on a sketch part or on a sketch phase.
Well, and is that also contingent on 8.22?
No, my or DJI domains does not rely on the 8.22 update for the DJI protocol. That is because it works on a third layer. The version 2, the 8.22, right? Version of the DJI core is going to change the core. I think the face or the layer 1 and layer 2, there are going to be some updates. I'm not quite sure of the features, but it's definitely not going to impact nor DG assets or DG domains. And if it includes features that are, well, interested for the general public, it's surely going to be added to the desktop wallet in the future. If they're relevant enough and tested enough and debugged enough, and of course, after I made a deep research on that subject. That's why it's going to take a long time to develop the first phase of the wallet, because I need it to be as scalable as possible. Because in an environment that is constantly changing, such as cryptocurrencies, where it's literally programmable money that can be updated to the necessities of the people that are right now on the community, it needs to be as scalable as the currencies. Well, I think that's a statement.
Question on the desktop wallet that you're working on, Renzo. So right now, if you take, for instance, a core wallet with a lot of the the coins that are out there, there's some, very few, but they don't follow the BIP39 standard. Is that something that can be implemented? And what I mean by that, the seed phrase, because you have to back up a wallet.dat file, an actual file. For usability's sake, is it possible, using all the other, I guess, layers on Digibyte, DigiAssetX, and all the different things, is it possible on the desktop wallet to use that protocol to be able to restore it? Because I think a lot of people are, they're used to that, and they're reluctant to. It's hard for them to back the wallets up. Okay, I got to put it on a thumb drive or something and put it over here and hide it. It's so much easier, I think, for people to be able to write down the seed phrase, and they're comfortable with that now, to where you can put that in a safe or put that in multiple places and be able to restore that wallet. Is that something that can be built into this desktop wallet?
Yes, technically, the core wallet does not follow the BIP39 standard, but it does follow BIP32, which means it's able to generate hierarchical array addresses. Unless you tell it otherwise, you can unmark, I think, the option of HT that is on the bottom right of the wallet. So it can be migrated into an account base like in the desktop wallet. It's not going to be on the first phase, because the desktop wallet is definitely more stable into connecting to the network as the mobile. But in the future, yeah, I can add or it could be add the option to connect to the core wallet to extract the seed that is there, transform it into a BIP39 seed for you to securely or properly store it, and continue using the same list of addresses that generate for you to keep track of your gigabyte, because it does follow BIP32 standard. And I proved that, or I tested that myself by exporting the seed that the wallet uses. So yeah, it's that it does follow a BIP32 standard, so we can be calm that that's going to be done in the future, because it can, and it's technically easy to export that. Just we'll need to add some layer of security, because managing private key is always tricky.
Yeah.
And it's technically, no, it's the most difficult part of the wallet. Is going to be one of the best, or the greatest challenge that I'm going to be facing the next months. The ability to work with private keys. And that's why it's probably not going to be on the first phase.
Sure. No, that's good. That's
Wow.
good.
Wow,
It makes it
Clint,
more usable. I like it.
wow, Clint, you're just not a pretty face. You do know your digibyte and all the questions. I'm impressed.
I know a little
Uh,
bit, not a lot. I know enough to ask some questions. That's about it.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, like I said, I wish I could ask more deeper questions, but you've obviously done your homework, and I know you're a big supporter of Digibyte,
Oh yeah.
and good to see that.
Yep. Definitely. No, that's my. I mean, it's 2 coins. I mean, that's pretty much it, and they're pretty neck and neck. It's Litecoin and Digibyte. You know, those are my 2 favorites. You know, with all my research, and I feel good holding those 2. Let's just say that I'm not worried about things, especially when we got guys like Renzo continuing to develop
Yeah,
on it.
yeah,
I mean,
incredible.
that's the good thing. I mean, it's about crowdfunding. It's crowd. You know, we have to define, you know, where this money is going to go, and you know, the people that have the passion and the tools to do it, we need to support these people. Renzo, we need to support him, and you know, so you know,
Yeah,
throw him a little
there's so many
Digibyte.
others.
Let's advance this technology, because it's for the people, and you know, if we don't put the time and effort into it and the resources, then we're going to get the same old, you know. Have fun with CBDCs, because that's where it's going.
And there's other people I know that are very, very committed. Of course, Master and Gladden and Jose, and I'm sure I'm leaving a lot of people out that go and frequent LT. That are so knowledgeable that when they speak, I'm overwhelmed of just what comes out of their mouth and how, in what
I got
confidence they speak in. So kudos to the rest of the unpaid, loyal people devoted people that are there for the Digibyte community, because uh, they're there because they believe in it, and their hearts are totally into it. So,
Renzo.
you know,
Renzo, I got a question in the comments
I was
from
going
Daddy
to
O. It
mention
says
that.
that he bought a DGB domain back in March, and it shows it's burned. Any advice, or where can he go? What can he do on that?
Yeah, I had received a couple of Telegram messages about that. As everyone know, my Telegram is, I think, on every single project that I have out there. So if anyone has a question like this, you can directly message me. So I can respond you on first hand. I connect like every time to this little thing. So yeah, regarding that, the thing is that Digibyte domains are essentially DG assets. Which means that they goes as the same rules as the assets. I don't know, you guys, if you remember, or if Daddy O that asked the question in the chat, remember when we were recently starting with the DG asset back on 2022. I think it was December 2022 when the DG Asset X launched. We had a problem that people were using, for example, Coinomi to buy assets. And the thing is that for Coinomi or for general wallets, sorry, a DG asset, it's just a little amount of Digibyte. It does not look at as special. It's just a little bit of coins. And if you don't have careful, or if you don't have patience to lock those little bit of coins or little bit of outputs in your wallet, the wallet can accidentally spend it next time you made a transaction. So probably what happened is that this person accidentally uses I don't know, Konami or another address or wallet, sorry, to bot the domain, and accidentally use the domain in a not uh, Digibyte transaction. If he contact me right now or in today or later or tomorrow, who knows, with the domain about, I can check on the track or the path that the domain leaves in the blockchain to see what happened to this domain, in what transaction it got accidentally burned, because that's usually what happened in this case. Is technically not this person's fault. I tried to do my best to specify in the website that you need to have a compatible wallet, but unfortunately the Digibyte addresses are anonymous and private. Well, private no, anonymous, and I cannot track which wallet generate each address. So I can't verify that via code. I can just put a number or a message on the website. Unfortunately, burnt assets are essentially gone forever, because just to protect the people that originally bought to supplantation and other creepy stuff, a domain cannot be claimed more than once, so it follows the same rules. And basically that's it. Right now I don't have, as I said, all the information to what happened with this domain, but that's my main guess. If he contact me to my Telegram, I can give it a more precise diagnosis of what happened with this domain, get the transaction out, and see what really happens. But that's my best guess right now, with the information available.
And it looks like you also got a donation here from Warrior 32. So he sent over 10,000 Digibyte to support the development project.
Thanks. Yeah, it's still, donation always helps to keep the project on board and ongoing. The first phase, once it's finished, I'm going to ask for people to just sign a message with the private key that they donated with, for them to be able to have their name on the wallet. Signing messages is a really cool Digibyte feature that right now is not easy available. I think only with Core Wallet. That basically is you use your private key to make a signature, like you're signing a document saying, yes, this is approved by me. Affects it to be basically anything. For example, my name is Blind Dave, signed by me. And by you doing so, if I receive that message, I can easily verify that you indeed signed that. And that's going to be the first feature that I want to put aside for people to put their name on the wallet, the people who donated. So yeah, thanks.
Would that also be able to be known from, say, like the domains, like, say, blinddave.dgb?
Right. If your address or if your signature is tied to a domain, the domain will appear in the wallet. I'm going to ask for people to give me their names or handles, or if they want their Digibyte domain, and put it in a special supporter page of the wallet. Mm-hmm.
Very cool, man. We thank you so much.
Hey, did Steak go to sleep, or are you there, Steak?
No, I'm here. I'm listening.
Yeah, just curious.
No, I'm all right. I'm here. You know, Renzo's talking, and he's sharing great things, and you guys got good questions. So I've got nothing to add, man.
Yeah, just curious. I was just.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I thought you want to move the conversation elsewhere. I'm fine with listening to Renzo.
Wherever y'all go, I'm okay. I'm, you know, wow, what a terrific person. Like I said, I hope to meet him, shake his hand one day in person, and like I said, I'm all in for that. Also, traveling expense for him one day to where he could enjoy some of the meetups that we've had here and some of the, I guess, energy that I'm talking about.
I think
But
those
that's further
meetups
down.
will get a little bit bigger in the next couple of years. Something
I
tells me
very
those
think so.
meetups will be a lot bigger in the coming years. Like I can see that turning into events.
I could see that, and that would be, like I said, it's the people that we know we've been talking to, even in that DigiByte community, the same people I mentioned, LT, Jose, Master, Gladden. They're all big participants in their own ways, and people I'd like to look in the eye and shake their hands one day.
And Qubit.
Cubic, yeah. Well, he's just crazy. He's just he's just another he's on another level, I guess I could put it that way, but an enjoyable level from what he talks about.
Yeah, thanks,
Yes.
Renzo, for the great explanations and the great insight of what you do. And I don't know if you're able to talk about what you're affiliated with or not. So I'm not going to touch on that. I'm just going to wish you good luck with everything you're doing, and I hope you make it happen.
Well,
Oh, he
it's
will. He will.
always going to be. Well, yeah, it's going to be definitely on my. Well, I don't know how to put it. It's weird. I always going to try to do my best, and that keeps me awake in night on night because I'm afraid that I'm not be able to fulfill that promise. But I try
Well,
to keep
don't be too
myself
hard on
and
yourself,
keep
man.
working.
You already
Too hard on
have.
yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself. It's good to push yourself to higher heights and new limits. I mean that's always healthy, I think, to have a good drive and ambition to move forward in life. But it should never keep you up at night. If you had an honest day work, just lay your head down and just rest in the fact that we all appreciate what you're doing. So just keep working at it, stay healthy, and
Yeah.
enjoy it. Enjoy the ride.
And sometimes the journey is what actually brings up that new experience or that new idea. So enjoy the
Yeah,
ride, like Steak says.
yeah. Sleep more.
Drink some tequila. It helps me. I think it helps Dave, and whiskey helps Clint. So get
Oh,
up.
I should pour a glass.
It's just too hot for bourbon right now.
You
I
got
just
your air
got air
conditioning fixed,
conditioning.
Dave.
Put it on ice.
You got
It's
your
all
air
good.
conditioning fixed. You can drink whatever you want.
Yeah.
Well, he's you see him a lot happier now. So yeah, kudos to you. I was worried about you for a while, Dave. It was too damn long, too many days. But
Yeah,
glad
it
you got your stuff going.
was 109 degrees on the second floor, and it
Oh
took
my
2 days to cool down both houses. So it was two separate air conditioners. Everything was wrong with the old. So yeah, it's
For a Celsius guy, even I know that's hot.
Yeah, me too.
I know. You always talk about Celsius, and I'm like, it's not that bad. Oh, it's Celsius. That's right. Not Fahrenheit.
As long as we don't go into
Translations.
Kelvin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, why don't you tell us something, Steak? You always have some European crazy
Some European stuff.
something,
Oh,
nothing. I don't know.
I've been doing a little bit of dabbling. That's what I do as well lately in like accelerationist spaces in AI. I'm meeting with a lot of developers in AI currently, so I'm bridging that gap. Doing that on Twitter Spaces, and they usually they stumble with the ethics of it in regards to sociology, and which is the aspect that I like. So that's where we try to help one another. It's good to network in that regard. And then you got like the whole synthetic biology angle, and then we got the news bomb of the LK99 this week.
Yes. I
Maybe
saw
you
that.
heard of it.
Yeah.
So I've been diving into that.
Tell me a little
What
bit
is,
about
what is
LK.
LK9? What is LK99?
Yeah.
I heard of it, but I haven't had time
LK99
to
is
dive
a
into
is a
anything.
Korean it's a Korean paper, a research paper that came out a few days ago, where they are able to make a superconductor on room temperature level by lead and copper.
Oh, I heard about that.
And they're trying to replicate it now, so it's going back and forth like, oh, this shit is fake, and then some research station in China comes on like, no, I can do it. And it's just it looks like there's something there. It looks like it looks like it might be the genuine deal. We're still waiting for a good peer review that actually creates a new superconductor, and the ramifications for that are like on the level of the invention of the transistor. So it's very big. It means that you get less energy that's being lost. It's able to be used everywhere. It deals with. This is just the tip of the iceberg. It deals with like magnetic trains. It deals with getting more out of solar, more out of wind energy. It deals with being able to provide better energy without the temperature going up, so you could get more out of computing or quantum computing. Um, I'm missing so much. Like for telecommunications, for medicine, this goes into hardware. It's just it's a severe game changer. And if this is true, it can be created out of lead and copper, which is pretty widely available. So that's and at room temperature too, it seems that everyone will be able to make it. It seems like a perfect timing for something like this to leak out with the alien news story and reverse engineering, and and the whole debate with oil and the transitory matter to green energy, and that Europe can't produce, and America needs some new innovation because fiat is kind of locked. So it's a convenient timing for
Let
research
me
like
ask,
this. Very
let,
convenient.
let me ask you now that we're on that subject. I've been reading, and I don't know, like I said, I just from so many different articles, but I'm understanding that maybe the problem's going to come from the chips, computer chips that were made in China, that they can control. I don't know by frequency, I don't know how, but shut down, move around. Is this going to come to bite us in the ass? Have you heard anything about it, or is it just
I don't know
hearsay?
what you're touching on. The
That's
Okay.
LK99 is Korean. The chips that came out of China, and that they are able to do what with it?
they're not able to
Well,
refine it. The cobalt, is that what you mean with the Chips Act?
well, no, I heard some. Gosh, I'm sorry. I should have
No,
done
I
my
think what you're
homework.
talking about, Javier, it's that all these computer chips that were made in China went into all of our devices, and they're all over the place. And is
Yeah.
there a back door of some sort that was built into all
Oh,
of these things? And
yeah,
Yeah.
what
I've
are the
heard about
Thank
something
you,
like
ramifications of
that.
thank
that?
you, Clint,
Yeah, yeah.
for
I
for
think you
reaching
I've
sent me
heard
inside
the
about
my
that.
brain
article
and pulling it
multiple
out.
months ago. Yeah, I think you sent me the article on that, and I read a long
Well,
time
and
ago.
that's, you know what, there have been, we have incredible pilots in our military, and I believe in our military, and then you just start seeing, back then there were planes that had fallen out of the, basically out of the sky without any issues, any con. And so my thought is, if there is a back door, oh my God, we're screwed. I mean,
Well,
I'm not saying we're
I,
screwed,
I,
but we
I
have a
haven't read.
military.
I
Go
haven't read
ahead.
about like military chips, but for example, like smart vacuum cleaners from China. I don't know why your vacuum cleaner needs to be smart in the first place, but
There you go.
fair
That's
enough.
exactly right.
And that was one video I saw where it kind of it seems that the software that came with it was capable of tracking all sorts of data on your network, and then delivering that data to a Chinese server. And the
Thank you.
question was why? Why do you need a
Why?
vacuum cleaner that does that? And it raises the entire security angle for edge-based technology, new web, maybe a true web free from an infrastructure point of view, and like a cloud edge-based connection, and securing your personal data. That whole angle, I think that ties into more with what we're doing here, of course.
Yeah, it gets to the point where it's, I mean, if they can get into our vacuum cleaners, and we
Well,
already
everything
know
is
that
smart.
everybody was ahead of the game,
The
what didn't
problem,
they
like,
put it into?
well, 6 months ago in the Netherlands, there was a very big outrage in the news, in the mass media, in regards to the hacking of solar panels, because it seemed that they were connected to the internet, but they were never really paying attention to the security of the solar panels. So that became a thing. I think they patched that, but um, yeah, everything's smart nowadays, and more things will be smart in the future. And this is a serious issue. Your data
Thank you.
is your data being secured. Your behavior is like the new oil. Like, they want to control that. They want to know how people move. They want to sell you shit. They want to sell you a narrative. They want to make that tailor made. And I think that with the improvements in XR and AI, it will be tailor made in the future, and it will just go on steroids. And you see the
Well,
ramifications of that in society already.
but
So it's
but
definitely something.
how screwed are we, Steak? From what I remember, and
Screwed.
like I said, I can't divide uh, one from the other,
Was
but
that an
I,
invitation, Javier?
I remember there was a
Grab your
time.
ankles.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there was a
We'll
time
tell
Yeah,
you.
where,
yeah, yeah,
from
yeah.
what I heard, there was a big political person, happens to, that they were actually able to control the car that they were in and brake left. There was a big accident. As a matter of fact, let me
Oh
just
yeah,
That's
explain
with
it
It's a
through.
that's
motorcade.
with
As
the
the motorcade went
Mercedes.
by, right?
If
That's
yes,
with the
thank you.
Yeah.
Mercedes and Jeep.
And so if they could do that, if they could do this already, they can't do that to the plane. Well, I
well,
don't know if
yeah,
y'all ever get a chance.
if
Look at the Fitzgerald. There's a
when you say
Fitzgerald.
Javier,
Uh
when you
huh.
say how screwed are we, I like to focus more on the solutions and the positivity going forward than the risks. Obviously, they are there, but if they really become detrimental for society, I think that we'll probably see a fix within 24 hours. I think that
I
when
hope.
planes start to fall out of the skies, then shit hits the fan. Like, not saying it won't happen, but I do
Yeah,
think
yeah.
that when it happens on such a scale, then the solutions go to a different scale as well. Like, they'll get massively funded, and I think we'll solve that pretty quickly. But it is an
Hopefully we
issue.
can
But
fix it. Yes, it
but
is an
I think the
issue.
issue is more your data.
And that
I agree, and we got people like Renzo that could maybe solve that solution.
Javier, imagine if they had something like this in voting machines, what could go wrong?
Oh
Yeah,
well,
exactly. But
Whoa!
but, but
what?
wait before you go
Really?
to voting
Are you
machines.
trying to
Before you
say
go to
something,
voting
Clint?
machines, Javier.
Yes.
Before you go there, like Renzo, you're aware of the Genesis block in Digibyte, right? And
Yeah.
you're
Also,
aware of,
stay.
of what it says in regards to target, and the data that's been leaked of millions of people.
Oh yeah.
That was the origin, the Genesis block of Digibyte. Do you think that that's where eventually the blockchain will be positioned as well?
Sorry, I don't follow what you were saying.
Well, you could use a blockchain for different things,
Yeah.
but in the end of the day, it's an encryption. And one of the things that fries my noodle and many with me, I know I'm not alone on this live stream, is like, where will these new applications, these blockchains, eventually be positioned in
Mm,
real life? And I can
blockchain
see,
itself, it does not rely on encryption. The blockchain itself rely on the proof of work consensus algorithm. What relies
sure,
on encryption, asymmetry encryption, is the part of the addresses, the part where you encode certain information or certain coins to be unlocked by the owner of a public key. Sure, that could include some sort of encryption standard on a third layer that could be supported by blockchain, but what the blockchain term really does is to ensure that there's going to be an immutability in the information, that is going to be borderless, that is going to be open, that is going to be peer reviewed, and it's going to be basically available to everyone in the world in almost real time. That's what the blockchain part
sure.
puts into the mix. The
Sure.
encryption part is given by the address on layer 3, I think. Layer 3. Yeah, layer 3. So it can be used in some statements, in some projects, in some use cases. But technically, for that kind of encryption, you do not need a blockchain. You only need the private key and public key of an address. That's basically how DGID works. If you
Yes.
look on the description of DGID, it does not say DigiByte blockchain powered. It says that it is powered or backed by the same technology that secures the DigiByte coin. And that's an ambiguous response, but part of the security of the DigiByte is based on the encryption system of its addresses. So it's basically two components: the blockchain that makes everything immutable, and the addresses and private keys and addresses that makes everything secure. So
Right.
yeah,
So my question would be, thanks for that explanation, by the way, but my question would be, do you see in the future, like maybe in 10 years from now or 2035, do you see a bigger use case for DigiByte as a financial transaction system, digital payments, or do you see it more as a manner to secure your data?
Well, those are different use cases, and I honestly can
Yes.
see DigiByte going well on both of them, because for those two scenarios, for public records, for transmitting information, you need a channel that is both fast and reliable. To transmit money when you go to the store to buy the soda or to buy a cookie, you are not going to wait 10 minutes for a Bitcoin block to be confirmed. You need something fast, such a 15-second block time. And when you want to, for example, sell a car, you want to make these things to be secure and verified as fast as possible. Probably not in 15 seconds, because you may want to wait a little bit longer to secure more blocks behind your transaction. But still, in 5 minutes, you can be secure enough that it's going to be very hard for someone to tamper with the blockchain to roll back your transaction. So in both scenarios that you're presenting right now, I think DigiByte is going to perform well in the future.
Think of a
Thank you.
safe or something right now. No, I mean, I'm thinking of different applications. I mean, you could have a smart home with all these IoT devices, Internet of Things, you know, all these devices that might need authentication, like your alarm system or, you know, a safe that you put stuff into. And right now you've got keypads and combinations and that kind of thing. I mean, you could potentially have something like a blockchain like DigiByte, say, using something like DigiID, authenticate to those things and be able to unlock them, unlock your home, unlock your safe, unlock your car. I don't want anybody driving my freaking car stealing it. You know, they got anti-theft devices on it. Well,
Can it also unlock my life?
What's that?
Can it also unlock my life?
Well, it depends. I don't know. How locked up is it right now? I don't know. What do you got going on, Steak? I mean, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
Sure.
Sure, you know, unlock everything.
Let's just go.
I do. We don't have to do.
Go ahead, Javier.
I'm sorry, and I don't want to change the subject, but I do want, before we end up giving some time to the happening and see what y'all's opinion, especially you, Clint, that seems to follow it very much, and Dave's and Steak, and I just want to know. I mean, yeah, it went down like it usually does. I guess people sell, but I think that's still being manipulated quite a bit. But just seeing what y'all's thoughts are, and it doesn't have to be right now if y'all want to finish the other conversation. But I do want to get to
No, we're done, man. But thoughts on what the halving?
having on Litecoin.
Oh,
That
on Litecoin.
happened yesterday.
Okay.
6.25
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
I mean, see, that's the magic of it, though. I watched it live. You know, Charlie Lee had a show with, the name escapes me now. Who was it? Who had the show on Twitch? I can't remember. It'll come to me. But
I
anyway,
didn't watch it neither.
yeah, just watching it. I watched the blockchain. You know, I was on an Explorer watching it, watching the blocks come out. So you got 2,000,000, 520, 2,520,000 or 2,000,000. I don't know, I can't remember what the number is. But anyway, it's 840,000 times 3. That's what the number is. So at that block, the reward changes. And it's leading up to it, you know, there's a little
It's
bit
like
of apprehension. Yeah, you watch it and you're like, okay, is it going to work? And Charlie Lee, you know, being the dry sense of humor that he has, he says, well, hopefully it doesn't break. You know, what do you mean? But it's, you know, well, it worked a few times before. I think the code's good. It should work. You know, it's
it should work. Yeah.
He knows it's going to work. But it's just kind of funny how he presents things. But I sat there and watched it, and I looked, you know, here's the prior block, 999, you know, and 12.5 Litecoin. The next block, immediately the next one that's supposed to come out, you know, at the time, boom, 6.25. And that just reaffirms why I'm in this space. You know, just one more reason, because the rules are defined. It's very clear. You know what to expect. And I mean, it's just a matter of, can you put the pieces together and realize that, hey, this is how many there are. This is the schedule. This is a fixed monetary supply in that case, you know, because that's what it's mostly used for, Litecoin. You know all the rules, and there's no surprises. I mean, so it's really an empowering thing. I like that when things are defined and very clear and you've got all the rules in place, because then I can play the game, you know, whereas, hey, we're going to raise interest rates. We're going to lower interest rates. Hey, we're going to float $1 trillion in debt because, you know, we're going to do it. You don't know what they're going to do, but it's nice to have that math behind it and that code behind it and all the support of those decentralized computers, you know, supporting that whole thing. And I enjoy that. I like that.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
No, I think Renzo said that ain't shit. Digibyte goes through it every fucking month.
Yeah, exactly. 1%.
That was my words.
I know.
I
know, but since Renzo was here, I'm gonna give Renzo the credit.
Yeah, it works, and because the math works.
That's exactly right, though. I mean, I don't. I mean, for me personally, it's nothing I get emotional about. It's math.
Yep.
You know, it's a mathematical algorithm that is naturally, through the protocol, is going to know to have, you know, after so many blocks, roughly every 4 years. Well, a lot of people don't get this about Digibyte, is that Digibyte actually has a halving once a month. It decreases the mine supply by 1% a month, which is how you end up with the last coin being minted in the year 2035. So if you want to see what Litecoin is going to look like in the future, when it has to rely on transaction cost, look no further. We're about to see that by 2035.
Yeah, 12 years.
Okay, Glenn. I didn't want to get us off the Litecoin thing. I just wanted to throw in shit.
I want to throw in a new use case that I was talking about with some AI developers earlier this week. And I think, you know, when we touch upon like data and credential data, we often talk about like our identity, right? And what does that make of? What consists of our identity? And we come up with things like a birth certificate or a passport or like a marriage or like a driver's license or like maybe even your healthcare files, right? You can have all sorts of credentials, diploma, certificates, all sorts of stuff. But one thing that really piqued my interest was that the people in AI struggle with encrypting your behavior. So your actual, you know, online behavior or digital behavior, they want to eventually encrypt that as well, because you don't want to fully give that away to an AI supercomputer or an AGI. You wanna have the AI play in a sandbox where you only feed it what you want to feed it. And they estimate, you know, just to make you a little bit bullish, these guys in the AI market and like really the developers in AI, they have estimated the future market of AI on 14 quadrillion. And that's 10 times the money supply that it is right now. That's how much innovation they expect from AI, just AI. So just the sheer prospect that I think that data protection will play in the future is it's staggering. It's mind blowing. Like it makes me incredibly bullish for everything that requires mining for an encryption. Every single thing that requires mining.
While you were speaking, I had a vision of the movie Demolition Man, where Sylvester Stallone, he was cursing into the thing so that way it would spit out more demerits or whatever the hell it was, so he could because he didn't know how to use the 3 seashells when he took a number 2, you know. So, but yeah, it was a time capsule. He, went. It was in cryo for a certain period of time. Then they defrosted him, and it's in the future, and it's like he doesn't know how to react, and he's still used to toilet paper, not 3 seashells. So the only way he could figure to clean himself was to speak to AI for a moment.
Now, the applications of identity are very important because you think about it, like you went through, Steak, all the things that government requires to identify you. And then what's that do to you, though? It kind of ties you into a status that maybe you didn't want to be into, but, well, I kind of need to do this and have this license, this piece of paper, all these things to identify me with the state. I mean, what if it becomes stateless? I mean, can we get to that point to where it becomes kind of stateless and borderless, just like the blockchain is?
Well, that's the question, man.
You identify yourself anywhere with, you don't need papers. It's like, this is who I am. It's like, it's the blockchain's taking care of it. Here's my identity, and you can function in different societies.
Yeah, that's the ethical conundrum. Like, and there's a few arguments going back and forth. Taco Bell won the food wars. All right. Hi, Mark. It's the ethical conundrum of like, if the state wants to shut down your bank account or freeze your funds, they can do that right now. Sure, they can. But there's a lot more you can do with programmable money, as in, expiration dates or like the quota that you can have with buying stuff. You can get to tokenize everything, and there's ramifications there for a society from a social economical standpoint. And so yeah, I would be great if we could separate the state from more things in our life. I think technology has that ability, but I think we should also be skeptical on how do we secure that and not move. That's my personal opinion. I don't think we should move too fast with this tech because of the ramifications. And there are other people that say, you know what, we should accelerate the fuck out of it. And it's just interesting to see where those discussions bring us. It's that's where AI is headed right now. It's discussing whether should we accelerate the fuck out of it or should we be on the brakes. And yeah, it's interesting to see.
Just step up and get in line and look into the orb. It'll be fine. Everything will be okay. Just look into the orb and take your scan.
Are futures contracts suppressing price? Warrior 32, I think so.
Yeah.
I think everything is suppressing price.
Well,
I think so too.
When you control the game.
You can also look to whenever the futures closing date is, and you can also play that as well.
Well, here's a question: is the government owning our ID, wanting to own our ID, or already owns our ID? Who owns you? Who owns your identification? Who owns what separates you from everybody else?
Well, technically, when here in the Netherlands, when you have a kid, you gotta register them in the first 48 hours, and then that's their name officially, and they get an identity from your government. They get a nationality. So technically, it's the country that gives the identity, but from a name and a country perspective or a nationality perspective. But that's just the bureaucracy of an identity. It's not the social or spiritual element of who you are. And that ties in with the whole consciousness and the research that they're doing on that.
On them trying to get our attention and pay us for our attention. Listen, you know what we have, but I want to own I want to decide who has where I want to give my attention to and how I want to be rewarded. If that's a possibility, me being the skeptical person that I am, I see it as very important because already we are giving up more identity. We see it with people being pulled over with police. They're not following the rules. And to me, if I own my identity, then I choose who gets my identity.
Well, and I think that in the future that will be a big thing for us to us to grant access to data to our medical provider, to whomever, then now you have access to that information, sort of like what Pillar was about years ago.
Yeah,
And
but you also
there
directly
was something
influence the
with
market.
Digibyte and Pillar,
Yeah.
with something like that with the Digi ID. That there was something with that years ago. What has come of it? I don't know the answer. Maybe I forget the lady I worked next to at the Digibyte booth. She was an ambassador for the Pillar Project, and I would love to dig and dive a little deeper on someone who is involved there to find out what's the latest on that moving forward with AI.
On
My
Pillar.
thing is, can we protect ourselves against other people or other entities that may not have our best interest in mind getting to our ID? If we have our medical record, can a police officer that is looking for our identification in our or our passport or just our driver's license, does he have access to our medical files? Does he have, when we give our
That's a
ID,
question.
how
That's a
much?
question, Javier.
Mhm.
That's a question of policy and governance.
Right.
Governance. It's where do you lay the authority? Where do you lay the control? That's a matter of governance, and I think technology and the innovation will also innovate governance. So
Good.
we'll probably adjust that model going forward, but it won't
Well, because
be
that's,
it
we
won't
gave
be a
up a
bumpy
lot of
ride.
rights. Steak,
Yeah,
we give up a lot of rights here in the
We
fear
never
of
get them
something
back.
that never happened. We went after people that they still haven't found weapons of mass destruction. Yet we lost the whatever to where they know what the hell we want. They get to spy on us on our phones for something that never
sure.
happened. Or
Yeah,
not
but
that it
now
didn't
you
happen. It
also have
didn't happen the
the
way they said.
you also have
And
the
that,
686, the Restriction Act, right, from Mark Warner, that hasn't been passed, but that's a bill that's been raised, and that's basically that whole act on steroids that you're now talking about, and
yeah.
it goes even further, right? They at any time through a presidential decree will be able to own all your data on every
Then
single thing, device, wherever in the world. Like VPN
what?
doesn't matter. So if they want to, they could pass that, and sure, it's something to take into account.
Why
And
wouldn't they?
and
Why
well,
wouldn't a government do that? That's what they did with us right now, and I think that's what you see some of the bitterness of the people that feel that we know what's kind of going on in the United States. It's not that we don't love our country. It's not that we're not for our country. We've seen the shenanigans that have gone on, and 90% of the people, I'm going to say 90%, but most of the people aren't aware of what the hell's going on. And so
well,
we just
Javier,
keep losing more rights. What's going to
Javier, I think
stop it?
honestly, Javier, I think that the technology at the time wasn't ready to evolve to a better model. And I think with this technology and other technologies, we're capable of creating a better set of governance. So I'm hopeful, but I think it will be a bumpy ride. It's not going to be linearly and have a better society and be a paradise tomorrow. But I do think we can make great attempts in the next couple of decades to achieve a better balance in society in general. And this is a very prominent aspect, but they differ between the EU and the US on going forward on this. That's what piques my interest, because that's the first
Good.
time that I see them not being on the same page. And it's I don't know if the US will change, but it has a it has a great interest for me in your presidential campaigns. It's like, where's the US heading? Is it going to go on the same route, or is it going to finally reform its society and give some more resources to its own citizens? Is that finally going to happen, or are they still going to have a very aggressive foreign policy? I don't know.
Let's well,
I'm not in the
let's ha-
Pentagon, man.
Yeah, let's hash this out a little bit. Is that where some of this new IP and patents take us into a more honest society, or and I don't know. What I want is that honest society, or at least to know, hey, we're playing in a rigged game, and
Javier,
I'll learn to play that game too.
Javier, end of the day, this is just a tool, but it depends on how people use the tool. And especially data protection is being handled with great care by specialists. It's definitely on the agenda for years and years and years now because they understand the absolute ramifications of it. So let's hope they make the right decisions.
Good
But they've
answer.
been working on this for more than 10 years. Like
Well,
this is a big conundrum.
well, good answer. And like I said, it's a curiosity to me. Shit, I've only got 10, 20 more freaking years. So it's
No,
more
man, we're gonna
for
upload your
younger.
consciousness
Put it in Renzo's freaking mind, because Renzo, I want to know what it feels like to be that
to
in
be
the know,
Renzo.
to be Renzo. Yeah, I would love that. Should probably blow my mind. Hell, I'm still thinking of I'm sending videos of shooting also through a slingshot, or having me and Clint and Lisa's Charlie get on this carnival and see if we can get high and
I'm
flip
not
the
getting in
damn
that
thing over.
slingshot, Javier. I'm not doing it.
I
I've
figure
seen
a
it in
little bit of
action. I'm not
whiskey,
getting. No way.
a
Man's got
little
to
bit
know
of
his
whiskey, or Polly
limitations.
P, or somebody we could drink into. We
I'll
need
watch
the weight.
somebody. I'm not doing it.
We need the weight. That's what.
Yeah. We're gonna have to fatten somebody else up.
Oh, it's all good, Lit.
Well, and let me go back to Renzo for just a moment. What do you see moving forward with AI in code? So
Good question.
is that going to be, because I mean, where I'm from, I'm more from the philosophy is that AI is programmed by man. AI is a program. It must run through a certain protocol to figure out what it must do first, second, third, fourth, fifth. If this, then what, and then make a correction based upon programming,
Mhm.
not that it is some sort of actual intelligence, that it is programmed. That's it.
That is indeed a logical approaching of what we humans think is happening inside an AI when we request them for us to do something. Because we work that way internally when we want to approach problem, when we want to, for example, if I want to draw something in my mind, I'm starting to put a series of instructions that I must follow. Me as a programmer, believe me, I had that part more interiorized than someone that does not code. I swear there's been mornings that I'm waking up and in my head I'm putting instructions of what I need to do to get up from bed. It's hell what is happening inside my head. But that's what we thought is happening inside an AI mind. And or yeah, an AI software or neural network. And that's not necessarily what is happening inside there, because what the AI actually does is try to approximate certain parameters on on a dimensional scale with different variables that summarize certain activity. If you have an AI that, for example, create images, or an AI that separates music into tracks, or an AI that, for example, complete text. No, complete text. No. Forget that. Scratch that. That's a different technology. For example, for the AI that can resolve how protein folds to get to new medicines, what is happening inside there is not that the AI has a series of steps. The AI is the step, is the equation, is the algorithm that needs to be performed, because on the inside it has different labels or different variables that goes through a training mechanism that adjusts these variables in order to get a result that works for us, and it only works in the 99.999% of the cases. So it looks for us in our finite lifespans that every single time it works, but that's not necessarily the case. So the final construct or the final goal for us humans to, for example, know how a protein folds in order to create medicine to cure cancer, is to have a series of steps on our minds to know what to do with the protein, how it folds, how different amino acid works inside of it to do what it has to do, and to finally get to know how to use that to create a medicine. That's not how an AI thinks. What we're looking for is a programmatically approach. That's a programmatically approach, and we don't want to use that. IA, it approximates its results based on known examples, and that's totally different mechanisms of generating the results. If you ask an AI, hey, how did you do this? The AI is not going to be able to answer that because it does not have a series of steps inside. The steps are the AI. The steps of solving, it's literally use the AI and look the results. So it's more like it's not like tomorrow the AI is going to rule the world, because inside of it does not work like that right now. Maybe in the future, maybe new transformers, as the technology speaking terms that works with, for example, ChatGPT are working on. And that's why I didn't include that in the example that I just gave. Who knows? Maybe that can evolve in a different kind of processing mechanisms inside their algorithm. So maybe something terrible it's ahead of us. But right now, that's not the case. Right now, we come up with these incredible tools that are AIs to complete problems that are too complicated for us humans to have a finite list of instructions to solve. And we manage to gather all up at the end. That list of instructions is just simplified as use that AI. So I think that's the best thing or the best approach that I can give right now.
Yeah, there's also a clear distinction between AI or AGI. Like artificial general intelligence is the one thing that spooks everyone. That's maybe going to be utopia or dystopia, where it can reproduce itself and make improvements on itself. But so far, we just have artificial intelligence, a tool that does one thing well, or maybe two things well, like large language models that we know with ChatGPT, or in video, or in photos, or in audio. And those systems don't really interconnect a lot yet. But that will certainly be the next step, the next phase, and it's just the development there is going rapidly, and I wonder what the impact will be when a software model such as AI gets combined with a hardware improvement as quantum computing, and then you get to tokenize everything in a blockchain. It just seems and then you got robotics. It's like, where are we going? Are we going to go to like free energy in fusion energy with like the superconductor that's a part of it as well? Are we going to get free energy? Are we going to get free strength through robotics? Are we going to get free intelligence through AI? It's going to be very, very cheap.
Nothing's for free.
No, but for free between brackets, like in they're cheap. Like, is that what part of the human experience will we still be living, right? Are we going to be connected to a robot and then connected to everyone else, or are we going to lose the connections that we make with one another? Are we going to, automate that? Are we going to automate human interaction?
If it does benefit society, I'm for it. However, with good comes also bad. So what you
what's
do
the
to one
benefit?
side of the equation, you must do to the other. So it's like even within software, if you change one aspect within software, bugs arise. That's every software. Doesn't matter which software.
Well, so let's go into that pendulum swing a bit. What we're already seeing right now with like social media addiction, and we see like complete fucked up dopamine levels of everyone. You see deterioration of social etiquette. I've seen, this is a sad one for the fellas, but guys below 30 age 30 years of age. 25% of them are a virgin. Like there's less sex than ever. It's like birth rates are declining because it's too expensive to buy a home or raise a kid. You know, if you look at those detrimental effects already, I think that if you increase that and accelerate that on steroids, and that's my argument against acceleration, then you'll also be increasing that. And I don't think that that's the right direction forward. I think there's some measures to be taken first to balance out society a bit, a wealth inequality gap before we accelerate everything. Because everyone always talks about too many people in society being an issue, but you wait until there are too few. Like who's going to take care of you when you're on your deathbed? Like, yeah, no one. Who's going to pick out the trash? Yeah, no one. Who's gonna clean the streets? Yeah, no one. Who's gonna clean the sewer? No one. No one's gonna do that. Like there is no one. So it's just and then you got people moving from small villages to large cities because that's where you want to keep things sustainable. So you get ghost towns, and it's just that's a really serious prospect that we're facing in the next 2 decades. And so if you're talking about, yeah, where is it going to go? Well, kind of there. It's we're going to move all of us are going to move into a smart city. That's going to be so much fun. Or I don't know,
human
maybe I'll be the one
intellect,
owning a farm.
Maybe we have two realities or multiple realities. Maybe we've got science fiction movies.
Yeah, let's go there with.
Out. Yeah, you've got your smart
A
cities where
metaverse.
everybody participates, and then you've got other people who say, nope,
A
it's not doing it.
multiverse.
Yeah, and then then the dogs with the AI built in come out with the machine guns and hunt you down, in packs.
That's wild.
Interesting future we have in front of us. Hey, we're in it. I mean, that's the thing. We're living through it. This is a time, this great transition, and what's our path as human beings going forward?
Yeah, we're. I see Renzo nodding his head. You want something to add, Renzo? Please speak up.
I was just saying that human intellect is a machine that it's not going to stop until it reaches limits. That's something that I think it's been proven throughout history. And we can't expect the race for technology or the race in technology to stop just to see if the society accommodates over its advancement. 20 years ago, 25 years ago, no, a little bit more, 30 years ago, I think that people were asking the same questions about the internet and everything that good things that could bring to society and bad things. If without internet, without communications, without computers or whatever, we could have having this conversation right here. And a lot of things, or most of the scientific advancements of the last few years, couldn't be possible. So who knows what's awaiting us in the future, coming up from AI and all the new tools that are coming up today. Myself, the first time I used ChatGPT, I was amazed in how these things were advancing in the last few years. I was able to code even faster than before. So these are just tools that we need to not get used to, but to know how to incorporate them on our daily basis. By doing so, at least I hope so that the person of the society can keep track of that, or go along with that and grow next to the innovation that arises. Probably not everyone, but it's hope.
And this is to the community. Do you not think the most important thing, as long as we still have choice, right now there's some people that choose to be involved with crypto and not learn the computer? That's me. I still have my choice. It's so important that we don't lose who makes that decision of which direction we want to go. I'm all for it. If somebody wants to go and do drugs or crack, and that's the end of it, they have that right, as much right as I have to live the life of just eating keto diet and just eating steaks. there comes a time that I don't need someone else deciding what I'm going to eat, when I'm going to eat it, where I'm going to eat it, how I'm going to feel about how I eat it, and what dangers I'm doing to the world. Because there were animals there before, there were animals in the prairies before. This place was covered with buffalo. So don't tell me that the same amount of cows are now doing the same amount of damage as the herds of buffalo. It doesn't. Things have to make sense to you. And as long as we don't start losing our right and don't let other people control us, you want to live in the metaverse, Clint, and you want to be 160-pound, 6-foot guy with beautiful long hair, dude. I'm not going to stop. I don't want to stop you. I don't care. That's your choice. But that's your choice. If you don't have enough to eat or whatever, don't come and ask me, or don't make me have to pay for your lifestyle in that metaverse. And I hope I'm explaining myself well, but I don't want to be in charge. I didn't have kids by choice, and I don't want to be in charge of somebody else's bad choices because they've made bad choices, and now I have to financially pay for those bad choices.
Yeah,
And I
but
hope
Javier, technically that's what a society is, right? And I might sound a little bit European here, so bear with me.
yeah.
But you cannot excel at every single aspect of life in a society. You need one another. And
I agree.
so when you say we're not going to pay for this or that, I understand the free market, mechanics that underline that, because I do think that, when you work hard for something, you're allowed for a bigger cut. On the
Yeah.
other hand, I do think that when people are misfortunate in life, that we should help them and we should do
Well,
something about that.
well,
Yeah,
And
and we
and
do.
and
Let me
and,
let,
and
let,
we're just one thing before I land my UFO. It's
mhm.
just I think that people work so other people can have pensions, and
Well,
those mechanics, they exist for a reason. So
and I
that's
agree
what
with you,
actually
but
makes us human, right?
I could tell you this:
UFO
socialism doesn't
UFO
work
landed,
here.
Javier.
Oh, I'm
UFOs
sorry.
landed.
Okay,
No,
so
no, go
socialism,
ahead,
and
man.
my personal opinion is that socialism doesn't work because it just takes a certain amount of time before there is no reward to me working hard. And now I join that dole of being a taker. And at certain times, there is that 1% that will not go and say it's your problem. We used to have that with kings and queens, and they had
Yeah, but
everything they wanted. It didn't work out.
that's a very very big cherry pick strawman argument, and I'm not advocating for
I
socialism
would
here.
argue.
I'm
I
not
would
I'm
tend
not
to argue it
advocating,
with anybody.
Javier. I'm
And
not arguing for socialism here. What I'm arguing for is that a good society is where the strong help the needy. And
well,
you can address the aspect of to what extent, but I do think that
we
everyone in wait a second, everyone in its life at some point will need care. That's
yes,
a given. And if
yes,
you advocate for a society where when you will need care and that's a given, and we still say fuck you, then that's not a society I want to be part of.
yes. But Steak, you have to admit that when the needy choose to continue to do what is that we have people right now. We have hotel rooms with food and nice hotel rooms that we are giving people with opportunities. They choose not to go because they're not allowed to do it. They're not allowed to continue their lifestyle. And because of that, I don't want to have to go through the burden of having to
Sure.
do that. It's one thing that someone comes up and they go, you know what? They lost a leg. I want to help, and I am a very helping person. But when I know, let me ask you this, Steak. You give
So let's just
to a
say
certain
this
no, no,
then.
no, let me land my plane. Let me land my big 747. You give money to a person in need. They go and go and grab some fentanyl and go and die, are you responsible for that mistake?
I would argue with that as a response to that the U.S. is very clumsy in its execution of civil care. Very clumsy.
I'll take that. I'll take that answer.
Probably by design.
Right.
Probably
That's
by
clumsy.
design.
Within
But
the United-
and
Within the
yeah,
United
go ahead,
States,
Dave.
I would agree with that. I would say that within the United States, socialism can only work until you run out of other people's money.
I agree with that.
Exactly. But the U.S. never fails to amaze me how they don't deal with their internal issues.
No, it's by design. Our government
Yeah,
keeps
because
getting
it
bigger.
is.
Or the Vatican.
It is because you're very capable in every single sense of the word in other areas. So it's not a lack of organization or intelligence or resources, and there's plenty of good stories that work well that you can choose from all over the world. Success stories on dealing with different aspects of a society, and it fundamentally decides to say, well, we're not going to do that. Like we're going to do the opposite. It's almost as if it's leveraged against its own population on purpose in order to create
Yes.
data sets that it can use to rule the world. That's how I look at U.S. culture. And
Yes, I
it's
agree.
it's a little bit I don't know. It's a little bit destructive.
Yeah, if I saw that it worked, and put it this way, if I'm working, I'm going to deem who gets my money and how I want to help. And so maybe I come up and I see things this way, and maybe because you had a parent that went through the drug things, you find it to where you deem that helping them out, but you can't come and take my money and give it to someone. Put it this way, right now, my
No, no,
money
Javier,
going to
let's
Ukraine
hash it
is
out. Let's
absolutely
hash it out.
out of
No, no.
bounds. We have too many
Sure.
strong.
Let's
Go
start
ahead.
with one thing. Say, for
Hmm.
example, you pay $100 to advocate against a fentanyl crisis for whatever
Hmm.
reason, and the entire. And I'm going to generalize a little bit here, but for
Sure.
the sake of argument, and the U.S. in general says, well, we don't want to rehabilitate people, we want to punish people, and by punishing it costs $100, and by rehabilitating it costs $50. You would still choose the $100 method because it's in your culture to say, I don't want to pay for it and fuck them. And it's just more expensive too. So from a capitalistic sense, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't have anything to
Well,
do with socialism.
So what?
It's
So
just
then,
retarded from a
let me
financial
ask you
standpoint
this.
too.
Let me ask you this, Steak. You just got a house. You want would you like two homeless neighbors to move in next to you? And you know how some of this homeless
Yeah,
stuff
I
goes
do.
to where, wait, let me this. So now all of a sudden maybe your lawnmower is missing because they're still not wanting to work and they still want to continue the lifestyle that they choose to live. And so now all of a sudden, maybe your
You're,
son
you're
comes over.
describing not in you're describing not in my backyard.
Exactly. And so what
That's the term for it.
most people say, yes, I would have them over there. I ask those really smart people a question. You want them over there until they start living right next to you. And I'm
Yeah,
going to show you why that
you're
doesn't
kind of
work.
asking the wrong person right now. So let's not go too much in my
Well,
private
okay.
life. But
No,
I've
no,
done
no, no,
stuff that other
not your,
people would
not
probably not do. But the thing is,
as an
it's
average.
on average, you're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. But
There's a
the
reason
thing
that
is,
people don't want the Section 8 living next to them because
sure.
it's not that they don't like them. It's not that they don't
So
want to help.
so
It's
Javier,
that all of a
so
sudden they
Javier,
start going to work and their shit's missing.
so Javier, we're kind of agreeing on the fact that the U.S. as a governance is a little bit clumsy in how to deal with that because you
I
need to
agree.
plan that shit. You need to urban plan that shit. You need to stay on top of it. You need to not spiral it out of control so it's manageable.
Yeah,
And
we need not the
you
government distribute the funds. We need the government seems to be the problem every single time. And all the dilemmas that we go into, we end up going, and what ends up, put it this way, what's that saying? The biggest thing you could fear is we're with the government and we're here to help. that's the way a great deal of the working society sees our government, because they're only here to keep taxing us, the middle class, while the elite
Yeah, but
have lawyers to get them out of them paying tax. And the
yeah,
poor don't pay tax. And now our middle class, I'm seeing it. I don't know, Clint, you tell me.
but
Dave,
I
tell
think
me
that system
we're
is I think
smaller
that
middle
system is
class.
I think that system is coming to an end, but I'm an
I hope.
outsider looking in. I think that
I
system
hope.
is coming to an end because it served its use. And it served its use since the 60s, where Kennedy that got shot was warning everyone from a bigger influence by corporations, and he got a bullet for it, and he wanted to dismiss the whole intelligence apparatus. And now we're at a world where it's no longer really necessary to do that. We're moving to a BRICS world and to a CBDC world. That's the reality of it. So it's less countries buying up your debt. So you cannot spiral it out of control as much as you used to. So you
I
have to
hope.
reform on a societal level because you don't have the money to live that large anymore. And the hilarity of the situation is when you do that, you'll make ends meet just as fine as you do now, because it's actually cheaper to rehabilitate people, because you need to spend less money on catching criminals. You need to spend less money on police, because when people got a house and they're working and they're being productive, they're no longer loitering on the street, or when they deal with their
Agree.
traumas, they're no longer addicted. So you get rid of all that shit from your street, and it's actually cheaper on the whole than it
I
is on an
agree.
individual level. And then you raise a good question, like who the fuck's going to pay for that? Well, there's plenty of
Yeah.
money in the U.S. There's already been printed a
No,
fuck
there
ton.
isn't.
So you can.
This is
No,
what
there
the
is.
new no, the
No,
new,
there is.
there is, but the people that hold it aren't giving it up. That's what I'm trying to tell
That
you.
is that's
They're
true.
trying.
That's true.
Let me just say one thing. They're trying to get the young generations to live in a small fucking
Yeah,
cardboard fucking box. No,
sure.
people don't want to live in that cardboard box. The rich, and this is the older people.
Yeah,
This
but
older
let's.
generation is holding a great deal of wealth.
Yeah,
The new generation is completely fucked.
yeah. But Javier, no. But let's look at like this blockchain technology. Let's reel it back into where we are right now. If you're looking at it, it's 24/7. It's near instant settlement. It's interoperable. It's across borders. It goes, and I'm not just talking about Digibyte, but like the whole crypto space as a general of how innovative it is for finance. If you look at that, then all the money that's being frozen in these bank accounts that go from bank to bank internationally, that money will flow back into society. Like that's going to happen. Like those Nostro Vostro accounts
I
that
could see
hold like
that.
they hold 3/4 of the money in the world on Nostro Vostro accounts that just being pumped from banks to banks, because it never goes back into society, because it just waits for 3 days to be dealt with, and then it's being sent to another country. It waits there for 3 days, and it never trickles down. And when you got near instant settlement in 3 seconds, 24/7, you can do whatever you want. Then that money will go down into society. It doesn't have to stay on a bank
Well,
account. So you
all I
just
could
get a lot
say.
more.
I'm
You get a
sorry. Yeah.
lot more wealth, is what I'm saying. And the way the pie will be divided is probably
Wait.
still going to be as corrupted as it is now, but the pie will be bigger.
Wait. That's where you're. This is where I disagree. The pie is.
Sure.
It's still going to the top 1%. It's not. Who? Let me ask you this: who's buying our bonds, and what are our buying? The
Japan.
people that are holding bonds, what are they buying in the United States? They're buying all of our assets. They're
They're
buying our
buying debt.
pork farms. They're buying ranch. No, they are dumping.
Yes,
They
yes,
are
they're buying
dumping
debt.
it. Well, no, it's not so much. Maybe they're buying the debt on that farm, but they're holding an asset now. And we're not. What we
Yeah,
keep
but
doing is
the
we keep
asset,
pretending like it's not happening,
Javier, the
and it
asset
is
doesn't
happening
become a liability. The asset just changes hands to
for
another owner. It
China.
still stays. It
Exactly,
still
I
stays. It
agree.
still stays the same asset.
Who owns the pork market in the United States?
The what?
Who owns the pork market? The pigs, the
I don't
pork.
know.
The
I don't.
let me
I
tell.
don't. I
Let me give
honestly
you.
don't know.
Let me. Well, here's where we
Do
need to
you?
understand. No, I don't. But I know that China is dumping a lot of their money, and they're buying a lot of our main infrastructure. Is that the word? I don't know if I'm using the right word, but they're buying the things that are valuable to us. And why? Because we have sold out. We don't do anything anymore. Our minimum wage is so much higher. I mean, and all I say is, Steak, you're exactly right, but it's not, the wealth is not being distributed. Now, if we had a flat tax and it was distributed evenly, I think we would have more of a chance. But they've set this up to where they don't. Trump doesn't pay taxes, neither does Obama, neither does, what was it that Kerry was moving his boat around because one of their yachts around because they find the way not to pay taxes, and the middle class is getting smaller. We are getting choked. And so right now,
Yes.
for the young generation, cannot buy a house with a regular job. It's going to take someone with extremely gifted skills to get that job, but those jobs aren't as available as we may think. Not here in the United States. You know why, Steak? Because for a hamburger flipper, we pay $17 an hour. Renzo, what do we pay a good normal job in Peru? You've got to even it out, brother. That's all I've got to say. And I think we're on our way. Hopefully, we have this
Javier,
new
I think
generation.
you underestimate that in your society, the pay from jobs is higher than anywhere else, almost anywhere else. And so the rest of the world is worse off, but we just deal with our society a bit better. So there's less cost. So it's more of a cost issue than it's of a revenue issue.
You know what? Like I said, we will have this if you want next time, or I'm willing to discuss it.
Sure,
And
we
we're
can
going to
hash it out.
disagree to disagree. We will hash it out next time, or we will hash it out now. I'm here in the United States, and I've lived a longer time, State, and I've seen the change, and I can't see that this new generation can catch up. And I'm just saying, we have how many college
Javier,
students graduating? How many have a
Ja-
degree and are not going
Javier,
to work at a degree that they are in?
that's true. You're saying correct things, but if everything is tokenized and digitalized, then you got an entire generation on their cell phone. They're kind of right where they need to be.
I hope. Like I said, I want that kumbaya moment. I want to stand hand in hand with Clint Westwood, Blind Dave, and all singing kumbaya. I hope to see it in my lifetime, and
Yeah,
I will be the first one.
hopefully I'll be there too.
I hope so too. I hope so too. If I don't
All
get on
right.
that slingshot that we were talking
let
about.
me jump in here. We've been going for 2 hours, 12 minutes now. Normally our cutoff is at 2 hours, but I just want to briefly touch on, you asked about pork bellies. I would say that was Hillary. But anyway,
Cattle futures. Cattle futures.
Oh shit. Okay.
but if go around the table, y'all say your links, parting words, your where you can be found, that sort of thing. I do want to thank Renzo for sitting in with us
Yeah,
Thank
this
you. Thank
session.
you very
And
much. Hopefully,
yeah,
me and Steak didn't scare you, Renzo. But we like to hash it out. We like to dig in.
No, yeah, it's just that we live in different political and social environments, so maybe I can't, of course, keep up with the opinions that you're giving because I
That's
do not
good.
know how it's right now how it's the political or social environment there on the U.S. But yeah, for what I'm for what I'm listening to you guys, both have both points, so maybe who knows in a few years if I decided to keep more in touch with your culture, with your public, sure, maybe we can have a very nice description. But from terms that are under open and global and borderless subjects such as blockchain, sure, I'm always happy to debate with you, to share and express my ideas. I always join the spaces that Master holds on Twitter. Anyone can find me there as Renzo DGV. And in basically any other social media as Renzo DGB or Renzo DD. Those are my handles. And just say thank you guys for having me here and for listening up. It's always nice to have a place to express my ideas, and you're awesome, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Renzo. Greatly appreciated. Love the talk. Clint, maybe you wanted to have the closing statement. You usually can find me on Twitter Spaces. I'm on Telegram as well. But Twitter is probably the best. The handle's in the bottom. And greatly enjoyed the show. Like the questions too from the audience. If they're still there, feel free to give a shout out. And great that Warrior 32 gave that donation live. That was awesome. Special shout out to that.
And me, you can find me following either Stake or Clint Westwood or Blind Dave, wherever the hell they are. If they're on a freaking space, I'm there listening and watching and learning from all of them, because these guys, I thank you for letting me be around y'all, because y'all are a world of knowledge and there's so much to learn. And probably in 2 or 3 weeks, Stake, I'll agree with you, but right now I don't. Peace out, my brother. I really, really do enjoy you.
All right, you can
Thank
find.
you.
That's awesome. Yeah, we appreciate you. Thanks, Renzo, for being here. Steak, as always. Javier, Dave, for hosting all this stuff. Really appreciate it. And these are the kind of problems that we're going to have to face going forward. There's a lot of frustration, as with any change and the things we see happening. I mean, it gets frustrating. As human beings, though, I have confidence that we will find our own path. We will solve the problems. We will develop new structures, new communities, the things that we need to do to really fulfill our mission here on this planet, because we came here for a reason and we're all here, and that's why we're participating. Hey, that's why we got to hash it out. That's why we have to do these things. So you can find me on clintwestwood.net. That's my website. It's got all the links to anywhere I'm at. I do YouTube shows or videos. I just talk about all this stuff. It's just me rambling. So if you want to listen to me, just ramble about this stuff and bring it up. That's what I do. And I appreciate everybody for being here, but, I'm confident. Just trust yourself, follow your path, and we'll work it out. We'll figure out a way to get through this stuff, and we'll do it together. That's what we have to do as human beings.
All right, guys. I really enjoyed today. I thank y'all all for stepping up and showing up. And I thank all the viewers and listeners out there for participating, joining in the live comments, asking questions, leaving comments, and taking part, because we're all trying to figure this out together. So it's just the merging of one system into the next, and how do we protect our assets. So anyway, I will have other things for next week's show. Moving forward, we will be broadcasting on Twitter and on YouTube at 4 p.m. Central, 5 Eastern. The timing just seems to work a little bit better for people who need to work in the morning. So, life, so is life. C'est la vie. So anyway, with that, y'all go make it a day. Love you all.
Sweet.
See you.